What's up guys? Welcome back to Lucky Crit. I know a lot of you are waiting for some of the other Echoes videos that I've promised, and you can rest assured knowing that I haven't forgotten about them. I just sort of focused on making so many Echoes videos that I never actually really beat the game. Funny, right? So for some of those episodes, I'll need some footage that comes later on in the game, and I've got to play a bit more to get there. Thanks for being patient, I'll get to them soon. But for today's episode, I figured this would help out a lot of players as well. With all of the Mila's bounty rewards being released in Fire Emblem Echoes, I thought it would be a good idea to help those of you out there wondering who would be the prime candidate to give the boots item that we're given. The boots are an item that increase the movement of one of your units by 1 point in Echoes, and alongside the free DLC boots, there will only be one other boots item in the game, and you'll get it so late in the story that it won't be anywhere near as useful as the DLC boots if you use them early on. By the time you reach the in-game pair, you'll be warping units far distances, and you'll have other shenanigans for moving units about on the battlefield, so what you choose to do with this first pair is ultimately more important, as it can help you out for the entire playthrough. Do keep in mind that whichever main character you were last controlling when you pick up the boots and the other DLC items will be the army that gets the items, so don't mistakenly pick up the items with the wrong character. To get your boots, open the main menu on the world map, press connect, and after going through the process of making your spot pass card, you can find the free DLC mixed in with the paid DLC in the DLC menu. Let's start at the top. Alm isn't a bad choice for the boots, since he can support a few mounted units like Claire and Mycen, and potentially Faye if you make her into a Cavalier or Pegasus Knight, and the boots could help him keep up with these units better, and stay near them for these bonuses. But Alm already starts off with 5 movement to begin with, and there are definitely some other units that may be more deserving. Mages, Sages, and Priestesses in Fire Emblem Echoes still retain their measly 4 movement that they had in Fire Emblem Gaiden, and this means that Celica herself will be limited to 4 movement for the duration of the game. It's also worth noting that none of the overclasses provide any of these units extra movement either, so factor that into your decision making if you bought that DLC. Skogul's, upgraded Gold Knights, get 1 more movement, and Olyphantiers, which are upgraded Bow Knights, actually lose 1 movement, but the rest remain the same. In Chapter 3, Celica will be stuck with only 1 tile of movement during the desert chapters, while other units you'll have likely promoted by then will get 2 tiles. On top of this, your Pegasus Knights Catria and Pala will be zooming across the battlefield, leaving everyone in their wake, so units like Celica aren't going to see much action. By Chapter 4, you should be able to promote your Pegasus Knights, and you'll likely have a Dread Fighter on your team by that point, meaning that you'll have 2 8-movement flyers and at least 1 7-movement attacker, and Celica's 4 movement will essentially ensure that she remains obsolete, even when you're done trudging through the desert sands, severely hindering her overall performance throughout the game. This makes her a pretty solid candidate overall, since she's one of the best mages in the game and is obviously essential to the plot, but there are still other options. You may want to give the boots to one of your other top mages to allow them to move even further across the battlefield nuking enemies, though mages like May, Bowie, and Sonya do have Thunder already that allows them to attack a bit further than normal, and by equipping your mages with mage rings, they'll essentially become like pseudo-archers, with an increased magic range of +2. Along your journey you'll get 1 mage ring for each army, so you should probably avoid giving the boots to whoever gets the mage rings, unless you want them to have even more movement across the battlefield for nuking enemies. If Dread Fighters are some of your favorite units, you could always go and make one of them even more broken with some extra movement too, but they're not exactly hurting for it. As far as healers go, the only cleric that I might recommend giving the boots to would be Silque, as she doesn't have access to Physic like the other clerics do, so her healing and movement spells require her to be adjacent to other allies. But all of your clerics that you promote into Saints will have 5 movement, which is more than what we can say for some of these other classes, so keep that in mind. Armored units like Soldiers, Knights, Barons, and Spartans are also limited to 4 movement, though this is a bit more expected since they're wearing heavier armor. Perhaps if Lukas, Forsyth, Valbar, or another Baron you've made a unit into is one of your favorites, you'll deem them worthy of the boots to make them a bit more maneuverable. Valbar is probably the most deserving candidate here, since Silque and Tatiana both have warp on Alm's route that can help move Lukas and Forsyth around, but there aren't any warp users on Celica's route to help out Valbar. Your decision may also just come down to personal experience as well, as during your playthrough there may be a unit constantly just shy of where you need them to get to, and you may find yourself thinking, man, if this unit just had a little more movement, and perhaps that'll help to win you over. If you're of the mindset that 1 tile of extra movement isn't really going to make all that much difference, you can also sell the boots for 3 gold marks, which you may find incredibly useful for forging, especially during Celica's gold mark drought during Chapter 3. You can check out our forging guide here for more info. All in all, it's going to come down to whatever you're looking for in your playthrough. Do you want Celica, the other protagonist, to have more movement and be more useful throughout the game? Do you want a more deadly mage nuke unit that you feel the movement will contribute a lot to? Maybe you want an armor knight that can at least slow jog through the dunes of the gnarly desert maps. Or perhaps you'd rather just have the 3 gold to upgrade some of your powerful weaponry. But at the very least, I hope this video will help you inch closer to making your decision. That's going to wrap up this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to slash the thumbs up if you enjoyed this or learned anything new. Comment Echoes in the comment section, and also let me know what your plans are for the boots in your playthroughs. We've also started a Spreadshirt shop to sell some merchandise if you're interested in new stuff for your wardrobe. I tested out a print of our original logo last year very early on in the channel's life, and they have some pretty good quality stuff, so be sure to check it out here or in the description below. This weekend there's also going to be a 15% sale site-wide using this code, so keep that in mind. Make sure you also get subscribed if you haven't yet so you can stay up to date on our content, and for behind-the-scenes information and news revealed on the fly, follow us on Twitter at Lucky Creek Gaming. And I'll see you all next time. The sheet itself is 6x9, which I think is a pretty sufficient size. You'll notice that there is some wrinkling and creases in it from the box. However, I did see some reviews on Amazon where customers said that after a couple days of having it hung up, it did actually go away, so I'm hopeful for that. You may have also noticed from before when there was a lamp on in the background that there is some light bleed through this. It is pretty translucent.